Hi everyone, it's Kim and Steph here. Um, we're here with this little video just to kind of give you a taster of a webinar that we're hoping to bring to you over the next few weeks sometime. Um, it's designed to give you a little kind of taste of who we are, give you a taste of the three principles that we're talking about. For the people who already know us, who've already met us, and for the people who don't, we thought it might be quite a good idea. So it's going to be very short, but it's going to be incredibly interesting. So let's get on with the interesting stuff. Kim, do you want to tell us a little bit about you?
Thank you. I'll try and keep it short and sweet. Um, Three principles I came across back in 2013 after reading Michael Neill's Super Coach and kind of getting a little bit hooked on the possibility that there might be something beyond what I had learned and been involved in during um, my times of training NLP, timeline therapy, and hypnosis. There seems to be a much bigger picture at play, and maybe even a bigger game to get involved in. Um, so the three principles has it's hard to talk about because it's not a thing, but we're going to have to talk about it as if it was. Um, the three principles are understanding and embodying the three principles, and not by copying what somebody else in the three principles might be like, or modeling their behaviors, or modeling their values and their beliefs, but by gaining, for me, it's gaining my own ground in what it is to see life from a completely open space. So beyond our preconditioned ideas and thoughts and beliefs that we've grown up with and that people have helped to instill in us or we've taken on board to be how life is and how life works. Um, and during the NLP days, it seemed like we could kind of tap away and or maybe change a belief here, change a belief there, and have some new values or um, restructure how we saw the world. But it was always playing with what we already know. And the three principles for me is put that aside. That's what we already know. This is everything else. This is what we don't know. And the unknown being used to be really scary for me, but now I just get thoroughly excited about what what is possible, not only for me, but for others as well, by opening up to this creative intelligence that is beyond our, for some, well, it certainly was for me, beyond conscious awareness and not tapped into perhaps consciously in the way that it can be. What we tap into it all of the time. So that's kind of, yeah, I think that's a good place for me to begin anyway.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm Stef Sibihovsky. Kim and I met 12 years ago on a Michael Neil program around becoming a coach in the three principles of understanding. And since then, I've kind of spent a lot of my life traveling around the world, speaking to lots and lots of different kinds of people, from businesses to charities to individuals to addiction clinics to schools. I've taken this understanding absolutely everywhere. And there is just something so beautiful about being able to have this conversation with people and watch them settle down, watch their minds slow, help them to have insights about their life and what they're capable of. It has been the most amazing journey for me. Um, and just to give my tuppence worth about how the principles looks to, it looks really simple to me. Is the principles conversation is about the raw dynamics behind how the mind works. It's kind of before psychology, before our conditioning, before our, what we were told to believe. It's who we are before thought. And turns out that we're all pretty cool. We're all pretty cool without the noise in our heads, without the contaminated thinking that we sometimes have. Um, so we're beautifully designed. We're absolutely, the design of a human being is amazing. And for me, the principles, even though it can get quite uh, complex in how we talk about it, basically, there's two things. There's one, the first thing is how our experience is created, how our reality is created through our experience, and the nature of who we really are beyond this little thinking system we have. And it turns out that who we really are is, as I said, it pretty cool. You take the layers of insecurity and fear and learnt problem making off us, and we actually work brilliantly. We have the ability for crystal clear thinking. We can make perfect decisions. We can be loving and understanding and compassionate with anyone. So for me, it was really interesting to see that, you know, our state of mind dictates absolutely everything we do from the minute we wake up to the minute we go to sleep, and how successful or otherwise we are, how resilient or otherwise we are, how kind or otherwise we are. It's all to do with our state of mind, with our learnt psychological system. So we get chance to take away those layers and we get to see and understand the incredible capability that we have underneath that. Every single human being. So that's what's on the table. There's a little diagram that we've done that will kind of help those who've heard about the principles, but probably don't really understand what they are or how they fit into the general scheme of different modalities. As I said, this isn't a modality. This is the basic principles behind how the human mind works. So I'm going to see if I can get this little thing up. Um, Kim, if I do, if you do what the three principles are, and then I'll do what the three principles are not, and we'll see if that makes it less boring for people.
Okay, yeah. What the three principles are. So they're a description of how all human experience is created. They are an understanding, not a method or a mindset, a spiritual truth behind how the mind works for everyone, always. They're a pointer to your innate well-being, clarity, and wisdom, which are never broken, only temporarily covered. A way of seeing that your feelings are coming from thought in the moment and never from your circumstances.
Cool. So what the three principles are not, and I used to think that the principles was some of these things, but I've seen they're absolutely not. It really helps to know. So the three principles are not a set of tools, strategies, or practices. They're not positive thinking or change your mindset advice. They're not a belief system or something to buy into. They're not therapy, coaching models, or step-by-step health self-help. They're not something you need to work at to feel better, and they're not about controlling your thoughts and emotions. So they're not something to learn. They're not something to take in and apply to your life. The simplicity of the three principles is that when we actually get to see how it's working, we don't have to do anything. When it doesn't make sense to hit ourselves over the head with some kind of self-criticism, if you can see that your thought is the one that's actually doing it, it's nothing to do with anything that's outside of us. Was it there's a famous physicist called David Bohm, because this has been recognized in science as well. David Bohm said, uh, thinking creates our experience of life, our reality, and then says, I didn't do it, which kind of sums it up really well for me.
Yeah.
So I think we've probably had enough time now. Hopefully, we've said enough to just kind of pique your interest in finding out a little bit more. And hopefully, we'll be seeing you on the webinar. Bevis will give you the date and the time when we know. Anything else, Kim?
Um, no, I think that's really good. I think for me, three principles used to be the new thing. It was novel and it was new and it was something different. Um, but now I see that it's the workings underneath, and it wasn't something that I had to apply. That was probably my biggest learning or insight, was to see that it had nothing to do with my life or what I thought, or it was everything that was creating the experience behind life. Anyway, I'm going to stop. I could probably talk about it all day, so
That's the
we'll stop
problem.
chatting.
We both could, yeah.
We'll stop
Yeah.
chatting about it now. Very
Yeah.
much hope to see you on the webinar.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
See you soon.
And thank you, Bevis. Bless you,
Thank
friend.
you. Bye.
Bye.